Welcome back to the Weekly Grab. I'm Joel Bryant. Beside me on the screen is my great, wonderful co-host CJ Westfall. Got a lot of good stories lined up to talk about. We even have a new sponsor of the show. The Oscars saved a lot of money on their lighting this year, so we adapted that same sponsor. We're just shining the light at Jada's head. The Jada Bulb 2.0 is going to be used for all future broadcasts. As you can see, we are illuminated perfectly. And for those that don't know, Will Smith is the second actor to reduce their entire career to a punchline or slap line. Rumors are in the mix that Jake Paul might be sledding up a boxing match or slap match. Akon is set to remix Smack That, and it's going to be called Slap That, and they might get Jaden Smith on it. We'll see, but all coming up next here on the Weekly Graph. Before I say too many more jokes, cue that intro, CJ. Hey man,
folks.
How you doing?
Man, having a great day. Just got done running 6 miles, threw up a whole bunch, but I'm back here today for the people. How are you, man?
Doing good. Back here, killing it. Try to go to the Flowertown Festival, but it's very busy down there.
Pretty damn busy.
It is very busy. It's happening. Tomorrow is the last day, I think, of the festival.
Yeah. I had to go flower shirt today for Flowertown. I know it's cheesy, but had to go flower shirt for the Somerville Flowertown Festival.
Oh yeah, you had to, man. You had to.
Had to do it. Had to do it to him.
Had to do them.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, if you're joining us, thanks for joining us. We're glad you're here. Hope you stick around with us for a little while. We've got some awesome stories that are on the local, state level, and national level that are relevant directly to you and your life. Also, some stuff that's going on here locally. As you know, the Flowertown Festival is going to be ending tomorrow. Hope all the local merchants and all the local businesses, food trucks, are killing it. I'm hoping they're killing it this weekend. I got down there Friday afternoon, and I'm going to get up there tomorrow again. But yeah, just kind of want to kick things off by kind of talking. We always talk about what's going on in our Somerville discussion group. There's about 2,500 people in that group, and it's been around for a few years. If you haven't joined, if you're not a member, definitely join. Each week we have a really interesting conversation poll. And Joel, you want to tell us about this poll that we had this week?
Yeah, the big Oscar slap heard around the world. Was it real or staged? We've had these debates, man. It was what color was the dress, and then y'all are Yanny, lockdown, not lockdown, and now here we are. Was it staged? CJ, what do you think?
Man, well, the people say yes. I don't know. I didn't even vote in my own poll. I put up the poll and I didn't vote because I wasn't sure.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
I think Chris's reaction was too genuine. His whole energy you could see shifted, and that's what makes me think more it was real. You could tell he was like, huh?
Yeah, but you're exactly right, man. He was just like, I can't believe that just happened. But yeah, if you haven't joined the Somerville News Facebook discussion group, it is awesome. Just type in Somerville News on Facebook, and there's awesome up-to-date stories being added there all throughout the day, all throughout the week. That's where you want to be, Somerville News Facebook group. Also this week, man, did you see who I got a chance to meet?
I did. You met Herschel, didn't you?
Man, I met none other than Herschel Walker. So who you see here is Herschel Walker and myself. The other people on the side, they don't matter.
Definitely not Steven. He needs to grow back the beard. Does him some favors.
I said the same thing. But anyways, that's a conversation for off the pod.
Steven.
But yeah, so Herschel Walker, running for U.S. Senate in Georgia, was in town in Walterboro, South Carolina this week. It was a VIP event. Really wasn't really marketed out too much to the public. More so kind of like a private-ish event. So it was pretty neat to be there. Pretty neat to be able to get up close and really have conversations with him and hear his speech. We'll talk more about his race with Raphael Warnock in Georgia as the year comes on. But it was just amazing hearing. Kind of reminded me of Muhammad Ali a little bit. He was funny. He was witty. It was just amazing. So I think he's going to be awesome for Georgia. I think he's a
Oh yeah,
principled conservative. And look at that handsome devil standing right there to
yeah.
his left.
I like the attire, CJ. Looking sharp, bro.
You got to get fresh on him when you're meeting
Gotta
Herschel.
get
You got to
fresh.
get fresh on him. But anyways, yeah, Joel, if you want to take us into kind of the first weird story of the week that we saw from
Yeah,
Fox
I'll
News,
pull
man.
it up. I'm trying to pull it up. I don't know. I'm having trouble getting to it. Okay, I found it. So Fox News made a big decision, apparently making Caitlyn Jenner, bringing her on as a on-air contributor. CJ, what do you think about that?
I think every time they have her on TV, she's not really good. It's kind of more so the novelty of, hey, this is Bruce Jenner transition to a trans person. And I feel like there's a lot of other like grassroots conservatives that are like kind of in line for that commentator job. And to give it to Caitlyn Jenner, it's like, I get it. We need to expand, have a Big Ten. I totally get it. This isn't me saying we don't need conservative trans people. But come on, Caitlyn Jenner on Fox News, that's just weird. I mean, I'm going to watch. I mean, we got to check it out. But like,
you're going to.
Yeah, but like, I don't know what this is. I guess it's a headline. It's good for Caitlyn, who's been kind of falling off lately after the governor run, the failed governor run. But yeah, man, we'll have to follow and play some Caitlyn Jenner. I mean, have you ever watched her on like an actual Fox News segment? Like, have you ever seen when she's on?
I haven't. I have not actually. Well, no, I think I have seen a few like small clips. They're very small.
Have you seen her talk about politics before?
Mm-hmm.
You've seen her talk about like conservative politics before?
I don't remember it, but
she's not really solid, honestly. Like she's just not really a solid personality for politics. But I mean, we'll see how it pans out. I wish her the best. I mean, obviously, it'd be great if it worked out. But yeah, kind of keeping things moving.
Yeah, and we got a bunch of local stories. I'm about to bring up one of them here, courtesy of the Somerville News. Got it brought up right here, queued up. Another Dorchester County State House seat will be contested in an upcoming June primary. State House 1114 Representative Lynn Bennett drew an opponent for the upcoming election there, and they're going to have to do a primary. I think Gary Brewer, he filed this week. I'll let you break that one more down there.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing this up. This is cool. Yeah, if you haven't had a chance, go read the article. That right there is Gary Brewer filing his intent on the last possible day available to run against Lynn Bennett. That's her filing right there. If you could scroll up and pause just a little bit above that picture of Lynn, filing, if you could scroll back to that. Yeah, right there. If you could go a little bit up. Yeah, so Lynn Bennett, if you guys don't know, here in Dorchester County, Somerville, Charleston area, she represents parts of Dorchester and Charleston. She's the former chairwoman of the Charleston GOP. She served in the State House since 2016. She's the first vice chair of the Education and Public Works Committee. This legislative session, she's sponsored legislation for human trafficking, bringing back recall elections, removing ideological instruction from classroom. She sponsored the PACE school choice Act, and she was also rated as an A-rated legislator and policy champion by a conservative organization called Americans for Prosperity for how good her voting record is. Her voting record, one of Dorchester County state reps, is one of the best, has one of the most conservative voting records here in the state of South Carolina. So this guy, Gary Brewer, kind of comes out of nowhere because, what real problems could you potentially have with somebody who's got an A voting record with all the major conservative organizations? I guess Gary Brewer has some problems. He filed against her. So on June 14th, Republican voters will choose between Lynn Bennett, who has one of the most conservative voting records in the whole state house, or Gary Brewer. I haven't seen a website. I haven't seen any issues. I haven't, I've spoken with him a couple times. I don't know him too well, but I want to follow this because this kind of seems, and maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but this one kind of seems to me that Gary Brewer kind of wants to make a name for himself, but doesn't really want to get into the policy. And I don't know. I think this one's a little weird. I want to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I don't really know what to think about this one as much, but we'll see
how
it
came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I've never seen him at a Republican meeting. I've never seen him, out volunteering. I've never seen him out in the community. I've never heard how he feels about the issues. And I know where Lynn Bennett stands on the issues. She's one
Yeah.
of the most conservative members of the
Oh,
state
yeah.
house. So votes for
Definitely.
constitutional carry, votes against big taxes. So yeah, this will be interesting, man. We'll have to keep an eye on it. If you could pull up that next one, man. There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of these state. While we're on the topic of state house, there's a lot of these Democrat state house reps. Oh, sorry about that.
I'll
Yeah,
go to
there's a
this
lot
one
of
first.
these.
Another story courtesy of SomervilleNews.net. Definitely go subscribe, by the way. They're fantastic. But yeah, there's a huge wave of Dorchester County state house candidates. Want to break that down?
Dude, the Democrats are coming for Dorchester County. There's no question about it. They've got some
Oh,
young
yeah.
and dynamic candidates. If you could scroll down and kind of just show people all the contested elections we have here in our backyard.
A lot.
If you could keep it right there. We've got a lot of these elections that normally these folks go unopposed, so they don't really have to kind of get the nitty gritty. But now some of these folks like Chris Murphy, who never really campaigns, or some of these folks, even Gil Gatch kind of had it pretty easy, who we love, when he came into office. So now these folks are going to have to come out to the public. They're going to have to make their case. I think that's a really good thing for Dorchester County and the Somerville area, because it means Republicans are going to have to work harder to earn the votes of their constituents rather than kind of just sitting on the couch and not really explaining their votes. So that's not an attack on anybody personally. But these are some young and dynamic candidates. If you scroll down a little bit, we can see a couple of them. The girl all the way to the right is Sydney Clinton. She's running against Chris Murphy. She's super young and fresh out of college, so I don't think she has much of a chance. Eileen Davis, the second vice chair of the Dorchester Democrat Party, she's running against Gil Gatch. We're going to make sure that she loses. And then Jenny Atchley is, of course, Ray Jean's campaign manager. But the weird story of the week is what I have right there. So we kind of break down that Rajon Lewis, Radical Rajon, is running against Robbie Robbins on May 17th in the special election here. And that's coming up fast. That's going to be here before we know it. And so another candidate has filed for that race. And honestly, I'm going to pull it up myself so I can show you, because this really kind of wanted to go do a little bit more of a deep dive on this.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. I didn't mean to close it out so quick.
No, let me do it, man. It's fine. It'll save you some. So the reason that I think this is important is, if you remember, there were some people making a stink about, our Republican Party chairman not being, unbiased in the primary between the Republican candidates. Well, it kind of seems like the Democrats are going to have some of the same problems. So we go on to talk here about Rajon's new campaign manager. So he's doing the right thing. Jenny Atchley, who was his campaign manager, looks like is being replaced by two campaign managers. And the only reason I bring that up is because this guy all the way to the right, Damian Daly, is the newest candidate in the State House District 97 race. We've been covering this race really close. Candace Jennings and Robbie Robbins ran against each other back in March. We talked about that. And then now that was the Republican primary. We have the special election between the general election candidates. And Rajon Lewis thought he was going to come in smooth. He thought he was going to, come in and not have to really get his hands dirty. And now he has a Democrat primary opponent. So he's going to have to face Robbie on May 17th. And he's going to have to face Damian Daly on June 14th, less than a month later. Also, Glenn Posey has added his name in the hat for the June 14th primary. So now this is a 5-way race happening now in May.
That's crazy.
For the State House 97. We're going to be following that closely. This right here is Damian Daly on the right. Not a whole lot of information available of him on the internet, but we're going to keep kind of following it, keeping you guys updated, and definitely take a look at SomervilleNews.net every single day and sign up for our weekly newsletter so you can be up to date.
Definitely stay up to date. Another topic here, let's see what the next story we'll head into real quick is. Let's see. Well, the Daily Wire is launching an interesting effort here, a campaign. If you will, they're putting over, trying to get that screenshot up, over $100 million effort into launching a kids entertainment sector of their platform after Disney has come out very aggressively, very vocal over the quote "Don't Say Gay" bill, even though it doesn't say that anywhere in the bill. So congratulations to the uneducated dillhole pushing that narrative. But yeah, props to DLR. They're doing a lot of good things. I know they also came out with the Jeremy Razors. I wanted to show the ad, but it's a dang near 4-minute long ad. So, but it was hilarious and excited to see the Daily Wire actually doing some good things to fight back in the culture. And I know CJ, you've been talking about this stuff for a minute. So I guess I'll take the little ring here. I mean, it's the most ridiculous, pointless topic that we keep talking about. I mean, the bill, for the most part, to dumb it down, is sex ed does not need to be taught to third graders, right? That's pretty much what
I thought it was 5 to 7
it might be
year old.
it might be long, it might be further down. I forgot. It was, I think, through the 5th grade. Yeah. I mean, personally, I don't think it needs to be
kindergarten
taught
through 2nd, I think.
I can't remember the exact, but it's essentially that age, that young age group,
5 to 7 year olds.
Yeah. That it's not supposed to be taught to. And I fully agree with that. I mean, that I think overall the whole sex ed in public school is kind of weird. Like, I think that should be honestly left up to the parents to dictate when they want to involve their kids in that type of conversation. I know parents that they don't want to involve their kids until they're at least like a lot older, like 12, 13, 14, until they're talking about this. So that should be something that's left up to the parents. Personally, with a lot of the, LGBT wave, whatever you are, I don't really, it's cool. Like, I don't get the whole hype about it. It's like, you like this person, cool. Like, no one cares. Like, if I started tweeting about how I'm proud to be straight, the answer is going to be, Joel, who gives a fuck? Right? That's going to be the answer. I'm like, Joel, who fucking cares? So I don't get the whole, it's ridiculous in my opinion.
No, it is, and it's gaslighting. And that's really what we're looking at here, man, because if you ask the average American, do you think it's okay to teach gender theory and about gay sex to 5 to 7 year olds? I think the overwhelming majority would say, of course not. And there was an example of a woman who spoke at Ron DeSantis' press conference about the Don't Say Gay bill. And in this press conference, she talked about how the school was transitioning her child without her even knowing. And then when she wanted to ask questions, the school asked the 12-year-old, well, do you want us to tell your mom about this? Do you want us? And the child's like, no. So the school's withholding information about who is telling this kid, basically indoctrinating the kid, telling them they should use pronouns, they should, be considering, using another name, all this stuff. And this mom freaked out. It's like, where the hell is this coming from? Who's teaching you this? And the school wouldn't even tell this mother. And so when we talk about don't say gay, in the don't say gay bill, it doesn't even say don't say gay. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even say don't say gay. And so, what the Daily Wire is doing is awesome, Joel, because it's going to give parents a choice. And, people are going to say, oh, it's going to be right-wing indoctrination rather than left-wing indoctrination. So we'll see what it's like. Honestly, if it's just like not any politics in cartoons, that would be refreshing too, because it feels like politics is seeping its way into everything when sometimes you just want to have an escape from it and you can't. So it's kind of dope what they're doing with Jeremy's Razors and it's dope what they're doing with the Don't Say Gay bill. This whole Disney thing, Joel, has been nuts.
Weird.
Did you see how they have
fallen off since the days of Sweet Life of Zach and Cody? Let me tell you something, bro. This is not the years of Wizards of Waverly Place
or Hannah Montana.
Jeez,
and so Disney, like, there was a law passed, I believe, in the 50s or 60s that allows Disney to self-govern in Florida. Did you see this?
Yeah, I saw that. DeSantis is pulling it from them.
So DeSantis is looking at repealing that law so that way they're under Orange County's jurisdiction rather than their own. They're essentially like their own little country, Disney in Florida. They don't have to pass building codes and permits. They don't have to answer to the police. I don't know the full extent of it, but I do know that they're allowed to self-govern. And in theory, I mean, that is kind of an interesting, cool idea. But when you're using your power to blatantly lie in the media, like ABC News reporting on the Don't Say Gay bill said something along the lines of Ron DeSantis bans talking about gender theory and gay, something in some grades. And it said in some grades. And rather than specifying like this is for 5 to 7 year olds who probably shouldn't be. So they're like doing word tricks to try to get people who are empathetic about the gay rights movement, because gay people have been discriminated against over the course of the years. So there's a big crowd that hears, oh, Ron DeSantis is coming for the gay community, and they're like, oh, we better, come with our pitchforks and and torches. But really, that's not the case at all. It's the parent. We've talked about this on the podcast over and over again. It's the parental rights and education bill.
Parental rights.
So we need people to be pushing back against this bullshit. And I don't mean to cuss, but it is BS, and we need to be speaking up more about it. People with common sense.
At the end of the day, the job of the school is to make sure that the people being pushed out of the school system are supposed to be able to be people that can come into the real world and stand on their own 2 feet and survive. As somebody that went to, public school, and they're not doing that. I'm not too far from graduation. I was in 2017. So, but I had to learn a lot on my own outside of school because they didn't teach me shit on post school. So anyway, they're failing on their purpose, which is kind of annoying. And they're sectoring off on all of this other nonsense. It doesn't matter. It's like
they're dying on the hill of gender theory.
Who cares? I don't care. No one cares if you're gay. No one cares if you're trans. Most people, as long as you're not infringing on their right, they don't care. They don't give a shit.
Amen. They just want to be left alone, and they don't want their kids to be, push this crazy theories. I don't understand why the Democrats are so perverted and obsessed with talking about gay sex with little kids.
It's bordering along grooming, where I think it is grooming at that point. Yeah.
It is. So, okay, we got to talk about this. So, as you know, we are doing the Low Country Cage match every week. The Low Country Cage match is our segment where we talk about the latest in the first congressional district.
I'll let you take this one quick. I got somebody at my door. 1 second.
Go right ahead. So Ingrid Centurion has been a candidate in this race for South Carolina's first congressional district. She's been in the race for quite a few months. She didn't raise a whole lot of money and didn't get a whole lot of traction, mainly because she moved here just last year after running for another office in 2020 in another state. So she dropped out this week. I think it's significant because this SC1 race, like I remind people every single week, has national implications that national news outlets are watching. With Ingrid out of this race, it is one less candidate to split the anti-Mace vote. There's a lot of people that want to get Nancy Mace out of office. And with 3 candidates running against her, all getting different voting sects, what you're doing is splitting that vote against the person that you want. What you should do is have all of your votes united against Mace if you're really serious about getting her out of office. And so Ingrid kind of did that, and she dropped out and endorsed Trump. I don't think she really had any supporters to give to Arrington, to be honest. If you want to check that out, you can look here. I put her fundraising numbers here. She had less than $7,000 cash on hand as of her last filing, and she most notably moved to South Carolina last year. And once
she just got here and she's already trying to run. Bro, sit back down.
You want to tell us how to live our life? Yeah, you're not even,
not even from here.
I'm not from here either, but
but
I'm not trying to tell people how to live their lives in Congress not even a year after moving here, So I thought she was a weirdo.
Yeah, I didn't like the way she just butted in.
But yeah, so one more final thing on the Low Country Cage match. Basically, this week, this morning, I was at the Cooper River Bridge Run, so I missed the debate between Nancy Mace and Katie Arrington that happened today. Today, Katie Arrington and Nancy Mace and the irrelevant third candidate all debated this morning at the Berkeley County Breakfast. And I'm going to go through those clips and pull some for our upcoming show on Thursday. So don't miss the Low Country Cage match segment on Thursday. We're going to come with some analysis. We're going to come with some clips from that debate that happened today. Wasn't able to do that today because I'm kind of coming off a big race and I've been super exhausted all day. But don't miss the Low Country Cage match this Thursday, because it got heated and you're going to want to see it.
Can't wait to see it. And other than our new sponsor, the Jada Bulb 2.0, we do have another sponsor, CJ. Tell them about Nug of Knowledge.
I did not bring my Nug of Knowledge script, but what I can briefly tell you is that at nugofknowledge.com,
Uh-oh.
you can find the most premium cannabis products that are legal and safe. I'm just shooting from the hip here. I usually have a script for this. The reason that we like this organization is because they support the liberty movement. They support criminal justice reform and cannabis decriminalization while also selling legal products that actually kind of do work. Not kind of, they do. I've used them. And what I really like about this organization, they have a compassionate use program for people like veterans or people with disabilities. So if medical cannabis is something that you need, they have Delta 8 products that can help. What's really cool is we're able to offer our viewers a discount on their products. So not only are you supporting our show by purchasing their products, you're supporting our show and all of our hard work. We're busting our butts here, writing articles, coming with weekly podcasts for you, trying to keep you informed on what the hell's going on in your backyard. And you're supporting that. You're supporting that work. You're also supporting the liberty movement. You're also supporting a company that's helping veterans and people with disabilities. So check out nugofknowledge.com, buy something, and use promo code Somerville to get a discount. Promo code Somerville to get a discount, nugofknowledge.com. Love their products, love what they stand for. Support the show, nugofknowledge.com.
Also, awesome. Don't forget, we got to get an updated screenshot of this with a new logo, but you can check out the podcast, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much anywhere. We're all over the place now. We're getting big. We're getting there.
We're on the come up.
We're on the come up.
We're on the
Despite that flowery shirt CJ has on.
Hey, it's Flower Town. I'm just celebrating, man. You want to hit that next one, man?
We have one more?
Two more.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Let's hit it.
No, I can hit. Okay, go ahead.
The FDA approves a second COVID-19 booster for people over 50. CJ, is this just pointless to you at this point?
I mean, why are we still talking about this? Joe Biden got his second booster this week. We saw that. But why are we doing this? You know, COVID's over. No one's wearing a mask. This is crazy. I can't believe we're still talking about this. This is just nuts. So, yeah, uncertainty of another variant. It kind of seems like they're setting the stage for another variant scare to keep this charade going on for another few months. But, yeah, that's all I got to say. What do you think, man?
Right in time for midterms. Always.
Right in time for midterms.
Right in time for the mids.
Good point.
They're being sneaky.
So, last thing I kind of want to end the show off today. I want to preview the show on Thursday that we're going to do because there's a lot that we didn't get to today. There's a lot that happened this week. And frankly, we just had a little less time than normal to prepare for today's show. But the most important thing happening in our community this week is happening tomorrow. Tomorrow, the DD2 school board is going to announce, and I'm so proud of the Somerville Journal scene because they have just been absolutely useless. They don't cover any local elections. They don't cover the state house election. They don't cover anything, man. And so, you know, props to them, Matt Bice, who actually works for the Berkeley County Independent. So it's not even really the Journal scene. It's one of the other reporters. But yeah, so here's the three finalists. Your three finalists are Brenda Hafner on the left, Dr. Shane Robbins in the middle, and Wesley Todd Trimble on the right. And so I went to one of the school board meetings this week, had a chance to hear the candidates' presentations, and you know, it was a final pitch, and it wasn't, you know, their entire background, so I wasn't able to get a full scope of every single one of them. But we talked about on the last episode some of the positives that we liked about Dr. Shane Robbins. And so tomorrow, my fingers are crossed that he's chosen as the next DD2 superintendent. I'll be the first one to say that I think Joe Pye acted like a tyrant during COVID. He shut parents out of meetings. He called them insurrectionists. Justin Farnsworth and Brian Mitchum insulted parents that disagreed with them. They displayed snobby, elitist behavior when dealing with parents' livelihoods and their children. So we need a shakeup. Dr. Shane Robbins has a military background, and he was awarded by the governor, we talked about in the last show, as having one of the best responses in the state on COVID. And he never locked down like we did, and he never mandated masks like he did. And their math and reading scores improved across almost every grade, whereas DD2 scores slid. So I think this is going to be huge, man, because this could be a huge new change in the direction for the schooling system here in our backyard. So if you're someone that cares about our community, what I would encourage you to do is send an email to all of the school board members tonight and let them know that we're supporting Dr. Shane Robbins and they should support him too. He's not somebody who believes in mandates. And so many people have said to me, like, why is mandates the only thing you're talking about? It's not. I can go into this guy's entire resume, but I'm not going to spend my whole podcast on that. I'm going to talk about what's most important to me. And so what's most important to me might not be important to everybody else. But what I can tell you is we showed data in our podcast, our last one, of how much Dorchester District 2 children actually fell behind as a result of these unnecessary lockdowns that Justin Farnsworth, Joe Pye, and Brian Mitchum pushed on our parents. And then not, as if it wasn't a hard enough pill to swallow already, these guys were mean to our parents. We need someone who understands how to handle a crisis. So no, maybe COVID doesn't come back as bad as it was before, but we know that with Dr. Robbins, we can have somebody who can handle a crisis, not somebody who's going to insult the community for disagreeing. We need a professional, and I think that's who the professional should be.
Sounds good.
So, yeah, man, I just real quick, on Thursday, are we doing the show Thursday? Does that still work for you, man?
Yes, we will be doing the show this Thursday.
Sounds good, man. Well, here's some of the things.
I do want to add something.
Please do.
I know we're talking about maybe changing the day, but if you have a day, like, let us know. Which, like, do you like when we do these podcasts on the weekend? Do you like better when we do them on Thursday nights? Let us know what guys. Let us know what you guys prefer better. Like, do you like these weekend grind episodes, or do you like it better on Thursday nights? Drop a comment. Facebook, YouTube. We could also do a poll.
Read my mind.
We could also do a poll. But
we've got telekinesis going between StreamYard.
Got that connection.
So previewing the show Thursday, right? So things we didn't get to. I really want to get into the school choice conversation, which is a much larger conversation.
Great conversation.
The Senate is working on 2 different bills right now: the ESA, Education Savings Account bill, which I know a lot about, and the PACE Act, which I know a lot about. And frankly, either of them would be a huge win for parents. The PACE Act is a better bill, but it looks like it's only going to be the ESA bill that passes, if at all. If either of them passes, has a way better chance. I want to do a full deep dive on that with you, man. Get into some school choice stuff and kind of tell parents what they can expect, because if this does pass, this is something that's going to affect them in this upcoming school year in August. So I think that's something worth talking about. Also, the medical marijuana bill. So we've been talking about this on our podcast. If you're someone who follows, it did pass out of the state Senate a few weeks ago, and it's working its way out of committee and working its way to the state house. So it has to pass the state house, state Senate, go to the governor. It's almost there in that process. There is a committee meeting on Wednesday this week. I've already put the information out in our Facebook group, which you can join right here. And so just keep an eye on that Facebook group. We're going to be giving you live updates on how that committee vote goes. So that way you guys are up to date on the medical cannabis bill that actually has a chance of passing in South Carolina. And then finally, we're going to do an awesome segment. It's probably going to be our best low country cage match segment, because Katie Arrington and Nancy Mace finally debated today. We've got some dope video. We're going to be showing it. Everybody's ready for the low country cage match. So this Thursday, look out for that. We've got awesome stories coming. I'm sure things are going to pop off between now and then, though, right, Joel?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a slaptastic weekend, a slaptastic week. It's going to be an open-handed
you're
event.
on the Will Smith thing still.
I got jokes.
I'm like, what? I think it's going to be a flowery weekend. I think it's going to be a beautiful, flowery weekend.
Unless Will Smith shows.
Enjoying the bloom. Well, anyways, let's hop off, man. But Thanks for joining, everybody. Join us on Thursday. Join our Somerville News Facebook group. Get involved with what we're doing. We've got our ear to the streets. We know what's going on in your backyard. You need to like, comment, and share our videos because we're busting our tails for you to bring this kind of information to you. We had tons of news articles that we put out this week on things directly relevant to you and your family. So help us out by liking, commenting, and subscribing. We're not even selling you anything. So
just doing the actual work, not even clickbaiting like some of these people.
We're not even clickbaiting now.
They who shall not be named.
So yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, but anyways, I appreciate everybody for joining. This episode will be available as well on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere that you get your podcasts. Join us this Thursday. Join our Facebook group, and have a great rest of your weekend. Get out there, get some fresh vibes at the Flower Town Festival. Don't be like Joel and be scared off by the traffic.
Hey, I wasn't scared off. Okay, I really had to go piss, and then I was fighting traffic and had to go way out of the way to get to a bathroom.
Have a blessed rest of your weekend, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you Thursday.